My name is Mario Fionda. I'm from James Gay Recruitment, and the purpose of this meeting today is really to discuss life science and how that's really impacting the US market at the moment. And Ken has been kind enough to join us to tell us a little bit more about that. So first and foremost, Ken, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, Mario. Thank you so much. I have over 30 years experience in the engineering and construction industry, mostly in what I consider to be complex projects. So these tend to be high tech, a lot of process equipment, and they tend to be large projects, multidiscipline. But I've also done a lot of small projects as well, and I do consulting. So my career has really gone across many vertical markets, and also a lot of geographies, both internationally and nationally here in the United States. So it's been a great run, and I look forward to continuing it.
Excellent. So as we said, the purpose of this meeting is really to discuss, where life science is heading in the US and why there's such a high level and pent up demand for it.
Right. So I've been in the life science market vertical since the mid 90s, and the last couple of years, I think there's been somewhat of a transformative change in life sciences, particularly here in the United States, but certainly globally. There's been a push towards cell culture and gene therapies, and of course the big pharma companies continue to spend. The capital spend has been quite large and quite aggressive. Certainly with COVID in the last year, it's really, I think, unmasked some of the global supply chain weaknesses maybe. And I think companies are looking at these weaknesses and also the strengths in the supply chain and trying to take advantage of maybe both sides of that. So I think combined with what was already happening, and certainly with the push towards new treatments and a stronger supply chain, we're going to see a lot more projects. And there is a lot of attention right now in life sciences in the United States, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And your opinion, is there a convergence between mission critical and life science, Ken?
I think so, and particularly when you look at the amount of data that's generated, particularly with gene therapy and personalized medicine, essentially your genome, or at least pieces of your genome, are going to be stored and analyzed, and that's creating a huge need for data storage, transmission, and also manipulation. Certainly, the infrastructure also requires a stronger, both from the power and the water side, just your general utilities.
Yeah.
But also, back to data center in particular, everything's controlled in an automated fashion. So
Absolutely.
It really pushes for a higher focus on that integration, if you will, in these projects. And certainly when a new life science project, a large greenfield project, or even a renovation is being done, there's often consideration for where is the data going to be stored, how is the controls going to be operated, and how is all this going to mesh together so that we guarantee a 24/7 operation uninterrupted, for treatments and therapies.
Absolutely. So what does this mean then when we get down to the grassroots? What does it mean for the engineering and the construction industry looking forward through 2021 and beyond there? Because I can imagine that, this is, speaking to any business, they're looking at the next 3 to 5 years. So what's your opinion there in the market?
I think the market favors companies that can be lean, agile in terms of making decisions, making investments, and linking up with key clients, across the globe. We do work in a global marketplace, so projects that are done in the United States may emanate from Germany or from Singapore or Korea, anywhere in the world, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So I think companies that can work on strategic account techniques and get deeper into the decision making with their clients, and this is both engineering and construction firms both. I think that whole service industry really needs to work on getting further into the decision making, being that trusted advisor with
Yep.
their clients, and developing that long-term, long-range relationship with the clients, with their select client base. That's what's really going to be important. And I feel like the small and medium-sized firms have a little better edge sometimes when it comes to being agile and lean and making those decisions and investments smartly and quickly.
Just touching on the small to medium-sized businesses, if you don't mind, Ken, if they're not currently in the life science or the advanced technology markets, and there's lots of them out there that are considering getting into this market, what are the things that they should maybe consider?
I think the first thing is the company really needs to look at their talent base. Often companies don't maybe understand 100% the existing talent that they have in the company. They get very focused on a particular set of projects or a particular market vertical, and they sort of consolidate their talent around that service offering. And you might find that in the company you have folks that have a multitude of talent, skills, and experience from other projects they've worked, other companies they've worked at, right? So that's number one. Number two is a business imperative. What is it that they're wanting to achieve once they get into a particular market vertical? Yep. Are they looking to do a hit and run, dabble in that business? Or are they looking to seriously get into it and make it a long-term business engagement that they intend to be in for forever, right? So, and then the third is talent acquisition. And right now there is a lot of talent out there. Of course, there's been a tremendous amount of consolidation in our industry, going back even 10, 15 years. The consolidation started then, and you see it continuing. So there's a lot of folks, both folks coming out of college, people that are mid-career, and people that are seasoned veterans. And it's really important that the company hire the right people, make the right hiring decisions, and then stand behind the folks they hire and support them, and go after that business. The business is there. It's a very large pool of project work. And it's growing, and so there's no lack of opportunity. It's just a matter of how do you go after it, how do you execute it, and like always, executing well is what makes the difference. It's not necessarily the subject matter experts or the salespeople or how great your brochures are. It's how well you do the work. That's really what the client remembers, and that's what's going to get you that next project.
Exactly. You're only as good as your last project or your last game if you're looking in sport.
Sure.
I've probably got one final question for you is, why do you love life science for the advanced technology market? Why do you get up every morning? Why do you want to be in this industry? And why do you think it's the industry to be in moving forward for you or for any business out there that's considering it? Sure.
One of the nice parts of the life science industry is it really is a direct connection to humanity and helping humanity. Whether you're working with a client that's developing a vaccine or a new gene therapy that's going to treat rare diseases that before couldn't be treated, you really have a direct connection. And sometimes that's rare. As an engineer, as a constructor, if you're working in food and beverage or semiconductor, aerospace, any of these other market verticals, there's typically a connection back to the human cause, if you will. Mm-hmm. But nothing like life sciences. I mean, you're really working in that healthcare arena, and you're saving lives, and it's really rewarding when you complete a project or you're working on a consulting assignment even. And you really help that client get to that next step. They're at a hurdle. They have a problem. You have the solution, or you can bring a team to the table that will get them to that solution, and that moves the opportunity a little further down the road and goes to the next problem area, right? And so you have a hand in that, and so that really is a great driver. And I think many of my colleagues, particularly in life sciences, I think they share that same cause. I think they see that as, hey, this is an opportunity to use our brain power and our skilled craft labor to really do something that's directly beneficial to humanity.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they're interesting projects, and they're well serviced as well. And I suppose you get to meet some really great people from not just your local community, but it's a global business as well, which offers you an opportunity for some travel if you want to as well, I suppose.
Right. You have the global component to it. You also have the entrepreneurial component to it. Certainly, there's a lot of interest from the investment community in life sciences right now.
Yep.
And the entrepreneurs, there's folks out there that are, risking a lot. It's not just financial risk, but they're putting their career on the line in terms of maybe going after a treatment or a therapy. Or like I say, there's a problem, there's something that's not been solved, and they're going after it, and they're working with folks that are from a very a disparate group of people. If you get into the university side of it and into the sort of the research and development side, these folks are coming at it from all different angles. You mentioned mission critical earlier, which tends to be associated with data centers, but really when you look at the R&D and all the work that's being done, all of this is meshing together, and they're very reliant on our networks and the cybersecurity and all the components that go into our digital transformation that's been going on as well behind the scenes. And all of this relies on that and is integrated with it. And you see it in the university, and you see it in the R&D labs at these clients' businesses as well.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurial spirit.
I think this part of the market is absolutely fascinating, and I've thoroughly enjoyed speaking to you this morning on this subject. Before we bring things to a close, is there anything else that you would like to add that we've missed off today that you think is important to anyone that's watching?
Yes, I think there needs to be a sense of urgency with businesses. If I have one advice to the business partners that I'm dealing with currently, is that time is of the essence. Things are moving very rapidly. Sometimes it may not seem that way, but right now time is of the essence, and there needs to be a high sense of urgency for companies to make decisions and kind of get on with what they're doing. It's 2021, we're into a new year, a new decade, and there's going to be a lot of change and a lot of transformation. So people like myself and my colleagues, we're going to be part of that, and I hope that all the businesses out there take that up as well and get on it. So high sense of urgency.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ken. I really appreciate your time this morning. Okay. Take care.
Thank you so much, Mario. Have a great day. Cheers.
And you. Thank you.